Let's go Dolphins! While everyone is focused on players and rumors about free agents, there's a name circulating in league circles that could end up becoming the most important figure on our bench, even without a helmet, next season. No, it's not a star quarterback. It's not a hyped free agent. It's a coach. A coach with strong ties to Jeff Hafley. And if what I'm hearing is true, the Miami Dolphins' next defensive coordinator may already be quietly being considered for the job, and almost no one is talking about him yet. Now, before revealing that name and analyzing all the connections, controversies, and what this means for our chances of finally reaching the Super Bowl, do me a favor. If you're a true Dolphins fan, with aqua and orange blood running through your veins, click the like button right now. It helps more than you can imagine. And if you followed this team through all the highs and lows, and the disappointments, leave a comment below. Go Dolphins! We're ready for the Super Bowl. Let's talk about this rumor about the offensive coordinator that could change everything. Brian Angelicchio. That's the name you're going to hear a lot of over the coming days, and not just in whispers. He could be the top candidate to become the Miami Dolphins' next offensive coordinator. According to Jonathan Jones of CBS Sports and several other connected sources, Angelicchio is absolutely in the mix and could very well be a finalist. He's currently the tight ends coach and pass game coordinator for the Minnesota Vikings, but his ties to Jeff Hafley run deep, deeper than most fans probably realize. These two have been connected at 4 different coaching stops: the University of Pittsburgh, Rutgers, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, and the Cleveland Browns. That's nearly a decade of working side by side. This isn't a casual connection, it's a bond that's followed them across college football and the NFL. And let's break down what that means. If Hafley is looking for someone he trusts to build the offense around, it makes sense that Angelicchio would be one of his go-to options. We're talking about years of shared philosophy, game planning experience, and locker room trust. But here's where things get a little controversial. Despite all that coaching experience, Angelicchio has never actually called plays, not in college, not in the NFL. He's primarily been a tight ends coach for the better part of 15 years. From Pittsburgh to Rutgers, from Tampa to Cleveland, and then later in Green Bay and now Minnesota, Angelicchio has specialized in one area of the offense. And that's going to raise some eyebrows. Can the Dolphins really afford to hand over play calling duties to someone who's never done it before? There's another angle here, too. A lot of fans were skeptical when Jeff Hafley was named head coach, concerns about his relationship with GM Chris Greer or his lack of NFL head coaching experience. And now, the Dolphins might be doubling down on the unknown by hiring an offensive coordinator who's never called a game. That's a gamble, a big one. But let's be fair, Angelicchio hasn't just been working under average minds. In Green Bay, he learned under Mike McCarthy, one of the better offensive strategists of the past 15 years. More recently, in Minnesota, he's worked under Kevin O'Connell, a young offensive mind who's drawn a lot of praise across the league. And let's not forget his time in Washington, also working with O'Connell. If there's ever been a coaching tree that's shaping modern NFL offenses, it's the one Angelicchio has been part of. Still, there's a sense of cautious curiosity about him. Is Angelicchio a hidden gem waiting to shine, or just a reliable assistant coach not built for the spotlight? That's the question Dolphins brass has to answer. And you can bet there are other names floating around that might be more exciting on paper. Think Nate Skillhouse, Davis Webb, Bobby Slowick, Brian Dable, Cliff Kingsbury, names with pedigree, names with play-calling experience, and in some cases, head coaching chops. But hiring Angelicchio wouldn't just be about familiarity. It could be about consistency. It could be about creating a clear offensive identity built on a foundation of trust with the head coach. And in a league where staff turnover can crush chemistry, that kind of relationship might be exactly what Miami needs. Now, let's be real with each other. There are serious risks here. The Dolphins are not a rebuilding team. They're a team that believes it can win now. They've got pieces on offense, even if questions remain about the quarterback position and the future of key playmakers. They need someone who can maximize that talent right away. This is not the time for a long learning curve. If Angelicchio is the hire, he's going to have to prove himself fast, and the pressure will be immense. But sometimes, risks lead to rewards. And given the coaching influences he's had, McCarthy, O'Connell, Sherrano, there's at least some reason to believe he could make the leap. And here's another detail that's important. Hafley will reportedly be calling plays on defense himself. That means the offense is going to be its own kingdom within the Dolphins coaching structure. Angelicchio, or whoever ends up in that OC seat, will have near total autonomy to design and call plays on game day. No hand-holding, no committee decision-making. So whoever gets this job better be ready to deliver from day one, because the stakes couldn't be higher. This isn't just about filling a coaching vacancy, it's about defining the next chapter of the Miami Dolphins' identity on offense. If Brian Angelicchio ends up being the guy, the Dolphins are signaling trust in long-term relationships and coaching chemistry over big-name flash. But is that enough? Let's dig deeper. One of the most interesting parts of Angelicchio's profile is that he's quietly been present in some very productive offensive environments without getting much credit. During his time in Green Bay, 2016 to 2018, the Packers were still highly competitive offensively, and remember, that was during the late stages of the Mike McCarthy-Aaron Rodgers era. Angelichio wasn't just watching from the sideline, he was helping develop tight ends and working closely with the pass game, learning what works and what doesn't in an elite quarterback-driven offense. Fast forward to Minnesota, where Angelichio has been the tight ends coach and pass game coordinator since 2022. Look at what that Vikings offense has done. They've had to navigate instability at quarterback, but they've still maintained one of the more innovative and flexible offensive schemes in the league. Kevin O'Connell is one of the brightest young minds in football, and Angelichio has been in those rooms, breaking down defenses, designing routes, helping scheme around limitations. That's valuable experience. He may not have called the plays, but he's been a part of shaping them. So again, this comes down to one massive question. Can he transition from being part of the process to leading it? There's also another layer to this. What kind of offense would Angelichio run? If we follow the breadcrumbs from his coaching stops, we might be looking at a system that leans heavily on tight ends, emphasizes quick reads, and relies on schemed route combinations to create mismatches in the short to intermediate passing game. Think of the way Green Bay or Minnesota has used multiple tight end sets, play action, and rhythm throws to build a steady, efficient offense. This could be a good fit in Miami depending on what the quarterback situation looks like and whether the Dolphins want to remain committed to a run-first balance or lean into a more modern, pass-heavy scheme. And don't sleep on the idea that Angelichio might have more upside than we think. He's never been the loudest voice in the room, but he's got a resume that shows he's consistently been trusted by top-tier offensive minds. Maybe this is the kind of hire that flies under the radar now but pays big dividends later. We've seen it before. Zach Taylor was once just a quarterback coach under Sean McVay. Now he's leading the Bengals to playoff runs. Ben Johnson came out of nowhere as a Lions assistant before turning that offense into one of the best in the league. Could Angelichio be next? Still, it's impossible to ignore the risks. If Angelichio flounders, it'll put immediate pressure on Jeff Hafley, who's already taking a huge swing by calling the defensive plays himself. And let's not forget, the AFC is stacked with offensive masterminds. You've got to bring firepower just to keep up. Whether it's Andy Reid, Sean McDermott, if he stays in Buffalo, or whoever's coordinating in Baltimore and Cincinnati, you're not winning games in this conference without out-scheming your opponent on offense. That's just the reality. Now, one thing working in Angelichio's favor is that Mike McDaniel is no longer the head coach. This is Jeff Hafley's show now, and with Hafley taking the defensive side under his wing, he needs someone on the offensive side he knows and trusts to build the game plan, execute it, and handle the heat. Angelichio has the kind of loyalty and shared background that makes him a safe pick from a leadership perspective. But will that translate into dynamic offense on Sundays? That's still a mystery, and it's not like the Dolphins are short on other candidates. Jason Vrabel, currently with the Packers, was a hot name mentioned in recent days. Nate Skillhouse is rising fast in the Rams system. Davis Webb, Thomas Brown, even a possible reunion with Bobby Slowick. These are guys with buzz and potential. There's also Cliff Kingsbury and Brian Dable, both of whom come with significant play-calling experience and offensive innovation. If Miami wants to go bold, those names are still floating around. But bold comes at a price. Salary, control, risk. So Dolphins fans, here we are. A pivotal decision is on the horizon. Will Miami play it safe with someone familiar like Brian Angelichio? Or swing big and aim for a proven or rising star? Let me know in the comments. Would you support Angelichio as OC? Or are you all in on someone with a different profile? Who do you think gives us the best chance to take that next step and finally reach the Super Bowl? Make sure you're subscribed to the channel, hit that like button if you haven't already, and stay tuned. I've got another video on the screen right now breaking down potential free agent targets for the Dolphins this offseason. Don't miss it.